Spaced repetition is a way to have infinite memory. Normally when we study for a test, we do really good at the test, but then 3 months later, a year later, we can barely remember the most basic details about it. And that's a scary thought. If you value the time that you spend studying for a test, taking a class, reading a book, you want to have some sort of a system so that you can commit that information to your memory without it just fading away. So spaced repetition is based on accepting that our brain just forgets stuff and tracking every fact individually and then showing you that fact for review when you're about to forget it. A couple days later, 2 days later, let's say. Now 2 days later, you're probably still going to remember it, but that's when you're about to forget it. And that's the most useful time to review a fact. When you're about to forget something, but you can still, with a little bit of effort, remember it. So a spaced repetition system will keep increasing the interval between your review times until it's very long. And that means you remember it forever. So I want to introduce you to the system I use. This is Anki. Now the best thing about Anki is that it's free. It's also very mature. It's been around a while. It has a lot of features and it's cross-platform. So I'm using it on Windows. There's an app on Mac and there's a web app. You can use all these for free. And there's also native apps for Android and iOS, but they cost money. I do think that they're worth it though. So when I open up Anki in the morning, it will show me this. It shows me a list of decks that are divided up by subject area. And then this column is how many cards are due. For example, I'm going to jump into Japanese history and hit study now. These are all based around things that I would really like to be able to remember off the top of my head. What are the salient properties of the Jomon period? Clay, sculptures, hunter-gatherer, lifestyle, very loose confederation of tribes, came from Mongolia, I believe. That's my answer. That's as far as I remember. I hit show answer. I got a few of these things wrong. Migrants from Siberia, no. It's actually, I said Mongolia. So, I got most of this. But I don't want to get credit for like getting it awesome because I got some of it wrong. So that's where you have these options here. You have, based on how difficult it was, hard, good, or easy, you're going to press one of these buttons and it's going to show it to you at a different time. So if this was hard for me, then I'm going to click this and it's going to send it to me again in a month and a half. But then the difference between that and if it were super easy for me is like almost 3 months. So it's important that you answer honestly because it's going to help you out. So I'm going to say this was hard because I need to get that at Siberia, not Mongolia. Okay, when did the Kofun era take place? Now this is actually a much better question. The other one is, there's actually a lot of questions that are hidden in there. I'm a little foggy on this. I want to say that it is 300 BC to 380. And so I got that completely wrong. I'll hit it again. How did the Fujiwara come to power? There was a palace coup and they intermarried with the imperial line. I don't know if there's anything else. So they helped overthrow the saga. Then their name changed to Fujiwara. So I got some things right, but I want to say that again because I really didn't get the thread. I didn't really explain how the Fujiwara came into power well. So I'm going to hit again. When did the Kofun era take place? 300 to 587 AD. There we go. That's good. How the Fujiwara come to power. They helped overthrow the saga. I don't really care if I remember the exact date. When they were known as the Nakatomi, and then they intermarried with the imperial line. Okay, so I got that, and I'm done. Jumping back to decks, I would then go through some of my other decks, but it really doesn't take much longer than a few minutes for each deck. You saw some of the intervals on these were a couple months. I don't have to worry about when they're going to come back. I just know they're going to come back when I need them to come back. So that's my quick overview of Anki and spaced repetition in general. Really core part of remembering information, and I think that everyone can get some use out of it if they are sick of forgetting things that they spent so much time learning. Thanks for watching.